Hello and welcome back. Thank you for joining me again here. We're going to talk about the underpinnings of this course and our need for it here as we appear to be human beings running around doing life here in the dream on spinning ball of rock. You'll notice right away we appear to be human beings. Yes, implicit in that statement is that we're not. We say we are. Of course, we say we are. The body is not you. If you're new to this course, welcome. If you're new to this series of videos, again, I welcome you and invite you to stick around. And if you're an experienced veteran, so to speak, of these videos, again, welcome. I thank you for joining me today and every day. You know who else thanks you? Every single living thing. The work that you're engaged in, whatever it looks like on your spiritual path, is of value that you cannot even imagine. And perhaps you can imagine quite a lot. Now, if you can, it's bigger than that. So let's keep going. Now, if you're newer to this, you'll hear some things that you may very well reject, or they may resonate with you deeply, and they may serve as a confirmation of something that you've always known. Maybe you're not sure how you've always known it, but you have, and yes, let me confirm for you that you have. When something lands for you, it is the Holy Spirit that is speaking to you. I often refer to the Holy Spirit as our inner teacher, part of our mind. So you could refer to it, and it is also an appropriate pronoun. You could refer to it that way. You could refer to the Holy Spirit by any name that you wish. So roll with it. When something resonates for you, it's Him. You may count on that. So let's talk about our foundational mistake, the one mistake that we've made. And let's also then, after discussing this mistake so that we begin to get it on a deeper level, we can then talk about the correction of that mistake, which is what this course is all about. We think we're separate from God. We are not. Period. The end. Okay. End of video. Ideas leave not their source. You're the thought of God. You've never left your source. Okay. What else do we want? How willing are you to let that sink in today? You could ask yourself that question each and every day, in fact. It's a very well known passage from A Course in Miracles, the one that I just referred to here. Ideas leave not their source, capital S. It's often written with a lowercase s, sometimes here in the Course, to express the idea that, well, thoughts remain in the mind of the thinker. You're the thought of God, which has remained in the mind of the thinker. Ideas leave not their source, capital S. Again, period, mic drop. You have always known. Well, the reason that you're not experiencing this constantly, in other words, the reason that you still appear to be one of these things running around, I appear to be one of these things, just an appearance, running around, doing life, going off to work. Today's Monday here in North America as this is recorded. If you're in Australia or other parts of the world, it's Tuesday, work day, and here we are doing life and thinking it's real. Mm, mm. Yeah. What we're talking about is turning our thought system right side up. So, on the level of our regular lives, yeah, we just lead our lives. We go to work, right? Pay the bills, eat, sleep, drink, appear to live a normal life, but you don't have to believe in its foundational reality. And when you begin to study and practice this course, or if you've been doing it for a long time, many of you have been at this for decades, you'll know that things can begin to lighten. We lighten our load and lighten our mind by wanting something other than just being able to get up out of bed and get through the day, which may seem like a perfectly high bar. It's not high enough. It's a low bar indeed. You are the Son of God, the thought of God. Ideas leave not their source. Who, what, and where are you really, truly? You're the Son of God. So we're going to talk about a fundamental mistake here, and it's going to hopefully clarify some things for you. The Son of God, the thought of God, us, every living thing, in other words, all inclusive, and singular, one, not 8 billion, nor more than that, one, one. That's the math test, by the way, in A Course in Miracles. One, you passed. There is no complex algebra. There is no advanced calculus, nor a trigonometry final, which some of you might be very happy about. Doesn't work that way. One, there's one Son of God. The Son is an effect. An effect. What's the cause? The source is the cause, capital S. God is the cause. The Son is the effect. Here in the world, as we think we're individuals, in other words, when we take a look and see all of this stuff that appears to be outside of us, we invest it with reality, and then we attempt to order, manipulate, and control this reality, and we wonder why we're exhausted, which we all have moments of. Of course, perhaps you're experiencing one of those moments right now today, and yeah, I get it. It's exhausting to attempt to control all phenomena. And that's what's going on here. We think we've separated from God. We are, in effect, God's creation, yet we're effectively denying that when we think we're individual human beings, an ego, a self sustaining survival unit, a phrase that I love to use. I didn't make that up, by the way. I got it off a woman's resume in the 1990s that I looked at, and I thought, oh, individual self sustaining survival unit. How clever. It explains what we think we are when we think we're separate from God, which we're not. Again, I repeat, this course repeats in many different places and in many different ways. And it may be today where that really, really hits you. And perhaps it may be. When these ideas land, it's very cool. And some of you have had them land repeatedly. You know what I'm talking about. We deny our cause, our source. That's what we're doing. We're engaged in a mad rebellion against God. We think that we're individuals that can run off and do life and make our way as individuals by ourselves. How's that working out for you? Exactly. We all have to ask ourselves that because the resistance is strong, it's ingrained. We have invested all of our faith and belief in the ego. Yet here you are on the spiritual path, and here you are studying and practicing A Course in Miracles, which is all about setting the ego aside. So the resistance that you're feeling, whether it's right now or at any other time, is perfectly natural. It's part of this path. It's common and expected. It's the ego that resists. Happily, we can choose another guide. You got it, the Holy Spirit, our inner teacher. We use our power of choice, which is actually the only real power we have left here in this tiny mad rebellion, this supposedly separated state. We can use our power of choice and exercise it in the present moment to choose the Holy Spirit, to choose God, to choose love, light. Love instead of fear, light instead of darkness. These contrasts are highly useful for our learning purposes because we've somehow appeared appeared to formulate the thought that we can run off and throw our own party. We can run off and play and hide inside this and play God. And we've made one fundamental mistake, thinking that we're separate from God. And you may ask yourself all kinds of questions that the ego wants you to spend lifetimes on. Don't do it. Why did this happen? When did this happen? How did this happen? Here's the answer to that question. It did not. The separation never occurred. We've made a mistake. Mistakes call for correction. What the Course refers to as atonement is the correction of our perception. It is the Holy Spirit's correction of our perception. We are not separate. Central to accepting this correction is our acknowledgement, our recognition that the separation never occurred. It is impossible, remember, ideas leave not their source. Where are you? In truth. Mm-hmm. Yes. We believe that we made ourselves. We didn't. God did. God's the creator. To be one with our creator is true. That's what we are. God has extended himself. He's the creator. We're the son of God. Like extends like. And we think that we made ourselves, and we think that this world is real. And we're kidding ourselves to think that it is. We're deluding ourselves and engaged in a petulant little tiny mad rebellion. We are. The central teaching of A Course in Miracles is this. Oh, and by the way, the sentence that I'm about to refer to is punctuated with an exclamation point. There is no world. Ideas leave not their source. I mean, if you were raised in a Judeo Christian tradition, you're taught that God made the world. He created it in 6 days, no less. And on the seventh day, he played golf and drank a bourbon and looked upon it all and thought, how great. All of these seemingly separate little beings running around going to war with each other. Perfect. No, God doesn't do division, nor does he do individuality. We made all of that up. Having made it up, we can set it aside. This is the power of choice that you have in the present moment. If you choose not to exercise it, that's still exercising it. So, one mistake, it's an error. Error simply calls for correction. The ego is a mistake. Our mad rebellion is simply a mistake, calls for correction. In truth, it never happened at all. This is one way that you can think about the very common idea that spirituality is an unlearning. Yeah, actually, it's setting the ego aside, which is what we're all doing here. This course just calls it what it is. We often say here in the world that we would like somebody to get to the point. There is no world. Here's more to the point. God is. It's brief, right? To the point. It's as close as we can come to truth in words. Words are merely symbols after all. God is the only reality. Ideas leave not their source. You've never left your source. We appear here in the world to be these things. So, again, not saying we don't take care of it. Yes, do take care of it. If you like to eat healthy, eat healthy. If you like to keep the communication device, i.e., this thing, in good health, do that because there are people out there that you will reach better than I will reach. There are people out there that are meant to work with you in whatever fashion that appears. Not everybody has to turn on camera and microphone, start a broadcast channel on YouTube to a worldwide audience, which this is. That's my own personal directive. Yours may look completely different, and it likely will, in fact, because there appear to be 8 billion of us after all. In truth, there's only perfect oneness. So all of the differences that we appear to see are simply differences in outward form. The content, the heart of the matter, the meaning of all of it is singular and one. There is only perfect oneness. The separation never occurred. Here, this is a dream. It's a dream. All of this, a dream. That's why enlightenment is often referred to, quite rightly, as awakening. How do we awaken from the dream? Forgive. True forgiveness, as this course teaches it, extending love to our brother in whatever form that may take. The outward form varies greatly. It's only a difference in outward form. The thought behind it, the content, the meaning behind it is all the same. This is very, very deep material. You deserve nothing less. Remember, we were talking about getting to the point and the bottom line a couple of minutes ago. We get so frustrated in our lives sometimes when people don't do that. We want them to get to the point. This course gets right to the point. And you know what? You deserve nothing less, which you know, or you would not be here. The reality is we've all been playing it way too small. And this is an invitation to go big. The reality is we're more powerful than we can possibly imagine. And it's not power over people or events here in the world. That does not matter. There is no world. So we're invited to, as much as we're able every day, to allow truth, who we really are, what we really are, where we really are, truth, love, to be just as it is. We get out of our own way as much as we possibly can, and as much as you feel able to do this today and every day. And then we get up tomorrow and then we do the exact same thing. And we literally wash, rinse, repeat. When you commit to this and you actually do it, because we learn this course the best by doing it, it is a self study curriculum by design. It's intended to be put into practice. And this is how we learn the best through our practical application. And then something amazing and very powerful happens. And it's amazing. Our experience shows us this is true. Our experience shows us that there is only perfect oneness. Our experience shows us that our brother is us, oneness. Our experience shows us that indeed there is no world. Our experience shows us that we are limitless, limitless. So you might rightly ask, how do I experience this? Well, begin to put these ideas into practice. And perhaps you've experienced glimpses of this already. It's quite common enough for people to have flashes or whatever they want to call it. I mean, when do those come? I don't know. They can happen at any time. And whatever you feel that you're able to do today, whatever you feel able to give the Holy Spirit, do so today for the purposes of healing the mind. All right. You deserve nothing less than the Course itself, what it says, and what it means. Any resistance is of the ego, and it's entirely possible that you've had a lot of those moments in the last 20 minutes or so. To the extent that you have questions, I'm happy to take those questions here. I'm here to serve as a guide for you. And this comment thread here on YouTube is, in fact, the perfect place to ask questions if you've got them. All right. So if you have not yet subscribed, the prompt is over here in the corner of the screen, that icon over here. Click that and join us. Thank you to those of you who have recently tuned in. It's an international community, and people are watching from all over the world, which is really cool. I mean, let's use this technology, which of course can be used to spread hatred and misinformation all over this spinning ball of rock. Let's use it for the Holy Spirit's purposes, shall we? That's what's going on right now. The Holy Spirit will use whatever you choose to give it for the purposes of healing the mind. So, as we all get to work on that today or this evening or whatever time it is, again, I invite questions if you've got them. And even if you just want to pop in and say hello, you're more than welcome to do that. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you for joining me, and we'll talk again very soon.